Hi, I'm Daniel, and I saw Trolls Band Together because it's out in the UK a month earlier. That's how I could have watched it without it being out yet. It is actually the first time I saw a film in cinemas on my own. That's because I didn't want to have other people have to watch this movie. I didn't have good expectations after the trailers. Any mild optimism I had quickly went away with the direction it looked to be taking. The first two movies had their good elements, but failed in executing some of their messages. I just made a video analysing those two. But how will this franchise handle with another sequel? Oh, they also updated the DreamWorks logo to have Alex and Marty from Madagascar, Eep from The Croods, and Puss in Boots. I like how it is changing, but it feels weird to not have Poe considering Kung Fu Panda 4 was in the next movie. I do like the idea of switching it every few months and how it transition to a Trolls themed logo after. Cool logo, now for the movie discussion. So, the story involves Branch's past of being in a boy band with brothers who are yeah. When one of his brothers, Fury, gets captured by pop singers stuck in his essence, they need to get the gang back together to save him. So basically just a far worse version of Do Get the Band Back Together from Phineas and Ferb. There's also a plot going on with Poppy, but that's kept a side element. First, this movie lacks so much subtlety. The first two were basically kids' movies, even more than most DreamWorks is, but this has been very ramped up by talking down to the audience and making everything that's important have to be held upon so the audience knows it's important. I am not going to spoil past the trailers, but even without watching the trailers, these twists are very easy to predict. Poppy mentions being an only child and wanting a sister so much. I'm not even exaggerating, if you've seen the movie you'll know what I mean. And the conflict between characters have to be harped on, especially. Anyway, this movie's pace between scenes is weird. The plot starts with John Doring interrupting a wedding. At least he has more of a reason than I thought, but it starts a very long conversation scene. There's a flashback there that should have been put in a different part of the movie. This is a confused opening lead-in, which sets up the rest of the movie's quality. It's another journey plot with set pieces and a getting everyone back together plot. It's very typical. It gets the beats and events fine, and even has some cool settings like this beach world where a new creature explored. However, I question this world where it keeps revealing new areas exist. I wonder if DreamWorks will make a map to tell where these new locations are compared to Bergen Town and the other troll tribes of World Tour. It seems like they just make up this world as they go on, and it's evident. That is even more clear with the timing of this boy band backstory. Did this happen before or after the trolls escaped the Bergen Tree? If before, it's weird to have culture like this while being eaten. If after, how did Branch's grandma get killed? On an unrelated note again, seeing her Yai was fun, even if only could add to the comedy of seeing Kill My Grandma moment. There's also a real piece at the very end. I know it's supposed to be stupid, but it makes absolutely no sense. This movie also glanced over the events of Trolls World Tour. Cooper's brothers then is yarn about it, but none of the other troll tribes play a part here. That just feels like a waste, and I wanted to see that element will continue past that point. As well, this is just a boring story where y'all contriving this entire tropes. It's doing yes and a yes moves, and you can tell they're running out of ideas. They did the secret sibling thing twice, third if you count World Tour. This movie is trying to be thematically tied with all stories involving siblings, but it doesn't amount to anything interesting. The pop star story isn't interesting, and there's such a decrease in scope and stakes from Trolls World Tour. That had a colonized as a villain with big worlds explored, or it's just a family story against some ego-centered pop singers. I've been too harsh so far, but I want to make it clear why the core of this story fails and it doesn't work as a sequel. With this said, it's not awful and I see potential in its side plot. Meeting Viva and her backstory is interesting. It still feels like a retcon, but a more welcome one that adds to the King's character. This direction could have justified bringing the Bergens back and having a more believable and complex conflict between the trolls. The scenes in that location are decent and it could have worked if it wasn't shoved alongside the band story. This movie also has good animation. It is a bit of a step down from the previous movies. The scrapbook is toned down as the escort coloring, writing, etc. However, it still has good designs for the characters and world, which was visually appealing to look at. There's also better cinematography and staging here that shows you have effort put into everything, especially during the musical moments. The songs may not be good per se, and it does feel like a competition how many of the existing songs can be played, but the soundtrack is trying. The opening wedding songs do a good job combining all the existing songs well, and the climax has some good music. Some of ritual songs are okay, and it just embraces the style of music quite well. The comedy was pretty weak and more kidified, but that was expected and there was one funny line. Now, as for the characters, Poppy has yet to do now and has been stripped of her main character status. That goes to Branch, who has some depth with a backstory and to his hatred of singing. However, I couldn't get into him as much because I don't use the straight man stick as much. The romance is still weak, but at least it's time to use the A-rolls. Tiny Diamond is also there, and still annoying with Piotr wants to be an adult. I also find it funny how the side characters don't appear after Act 1, and some didn't even get a line. This franchise is completely aware how useless they all are. Riches and the King returning wasn't needed, and this just feels like an extra waste of time. The villains, Velvet and Vanilla, get annoying and are very surface level pop star character shows that I expect from 2000s. Branch's brothers are okay characters with all their personality traits and struggles, even if their role was pretty predictable. There's also Viva, who I expected to find annoying by the trailers, but was actually more complex. Yeah, because she switches between personality and her reasonings are understandable. It makes an interesting character, even if there isn't room to include her story. This movie existed and was another downgrade from the franchise. I don't think there should be a fourth movie. That statement won't change anything. It could have been worse, but it doesn't change it not being good. In conclusion, I give Trolls Band Together 4 out of 10 and would not recommend. It's not worth watching if you already weren't planning on. This isn't a good sign for DreamWorks. 2022 was their year, and this had the okay Ruby Gilman and mediocre third Trolls movie. Maybe Kung Fu Panda 3 will save them again. This was not a good movie. I have talked too much about the Trolls trilogy now. If you enjoyed this video, consider pressing subscribe and watching more. The end.